Good evening. Here we are in the basement, or what we call the Thundercroft at Burmese House. So called because there are two sizable organs in here. Well, one large organ and one very strange small one. All manner of strange things down here, and an inordinate amount of records, as you can see. Sorry about the mess. There are many projects on the go down here. We're going to sorry about the noise and the shake and all the rest of it. Let's have a look at washing 78s. Collectors have so many different beliefs and opinions and what have you on this. I've got my way. It's just what I've done for years. A little or a very significant modification just recently when it comes to drying them, as we'll see shortly. But this is what I do. I'll try and explain along the way. I'm completely unprepared. No expense shelled out in production values. Let's just see what we do. I take an ordinary paintbrush, but one with reasonable bristles. This one is nearly worn out, that I use for, I've been using this for several years. Here's the previous one that did me for many years. As you can see, these are cut down shorter, so the bristles they're nice natural hair bristles, but they're cut down shorter, so they're stiff and they will sort of really work into the grooves. I did decide to try a good quality papering brush in due course, which is a bit thicker. I think I'll probably not need to actually cut this down, and that will work really well. You'll see how this works in terms of actually cleaning deep in the grooves in a moment. So yeah, I wet it. I've taken to, for many years now, to using baby shampoo, but it's not quite as powerful as washing up liquid. Washing up liquid contains a very small amount of alcohol. Alcohol and shellac, which is what most 78s are made of, do not mix. But I do put, even in ordinary washing up liquid, there's such a small concentration that I really doubt it makes any difference whatsoever. But just to be super cautious, I use baby shampoo instead. It doesn't quite cut as powerfully in the detergent sense as washing up liquid, so I do put a very small proportion of washing up liquid mixed in. So that's what I use, and to start out, I wet the brush and I pour a good sort of liberal bit onto the bristles like that. Take a record, and just to demonstrate I have every confidence in this, your mileage may value, as the Americans say, and I won't be responsible for any problems that you might encounter in doing this. But this is a Deutsche Grammophon, a very nice condition and really nice record, so it's a precious record. I have every confidence in this, as I say. So with a wet soapy brush, I brush around the grooves a good few times, so I've covered the whole the whole side. Now, some people insist on not getting the labels wet. If you're quick and careful, it really doesn't matter. They're often dirty, so I usually just give them a quick wipe. So I'm going to do the same the other side. And then, now that soap to me has had a chance to actually sort of start working and soaking and thoroughly wetting that surface. So I will go over again. I've turned it slightly so we're sort of sweeping a different semicircular arc. You can see we're working up quite a lather there. Okay, and now I'm going to rinse it off. Reasonably fast running tap. Does use a bit of water, this method. I've taken to saving the sort of near distilled water that when one uses a dehumidifier, the water that comes out of that. So it's not as pure as proper distilled or deionized water, but it's fairly pure. So I might take to using that in future. So I've just got all of the suds off that. I'm just going to put it in the drying rack for a short time. When I'm doing this en masse, I'll do 3 or 4, leave them in there, wash them, rinse them, and then when I've done 3 or 4, I'll take the first one and dry it. Just while we're waiting for the roughly equivalent period of time, I'll just explain. This is some sort of peculiar homemade gramophone bass with a dud motor in there. The motor has no guts, it's just the cast cage of the motor, the bottom plate and the spindle. So in other words, putting a scrap turntable on there, and I've painted the rusty surface so that it's just nice and clean. This is you know, a dummy turntable, or a lazy Susan if you will. And I've got a wet vac down here, and what I've contrived, similar to a lot of the professional or semi-professional record cleaning machines, piece of electrical conduit, cork in the end, although I find that's possibly not necessary, because even with that open, the heavy draw of air through here is enough to force a venturi through this slit. This is a bit of microfiber toweling, and there's a slit under there, and I've slit the microfiber toweling as well, and this is a little hole which will go over the turntable spindle, and this is the slit that corresponds to the playing area of almost all 10-inch records. I've got another one over here, not quite as clean. It's been, you know, used a good few times. You can see both some dirt on the ends and where the slit has been pulled in by the vacuum. I've just put a new one on there. Because there's still a fair amount of dirt even after a really thorough wash like that. This is the piece that I've just taken off and getting rid of, and just a piece of automotive hose on there that will go into the wet vac hose fitting. So let's do it. This is going to be noisy. What you will see is I'll put the record on there, I'll sweep it slowly round, drying it with that. I'll take the record off, and then that wet surface I'll just gently dry off and put the record back on and do the other side. Okay, noise time. Distracted with the camera for a moment. Sorry about the noise, hope that wasn't too painful. Now, we've still got a damp label, but I think you can see, hopefully, I don't know how to quite catch the light with the camera, but we have got a really super clean record. I used to do this without this thing and just drip dry them for a while, lay them on tea toweling and dab dry, and then dab dry with paper toweling. What I shall do now, what I would then do after drying with tea towels and paper towels, is then just sort of stand them up anywhere safely, just like this, and just let the label dry and the rest dry thoroughly for a period of certainly a few hours at least, preferably overnight or 24 hours just to make absolutely sure that there's no wet remaining in the grooves. But I am finding with this vacuuming system that they are getting visibly cleaner and audibly cleaner. Honestly, I found this revolutionary. It's such a cheap and easy thing to do. Top tip there. Hope that's helpful. I would anticipate certain people having their own opinions and preferences about certain aspects of this, but I've never had any problems with the labels or anything else. In fact, I've been doing essentially this apart from the vacuuming for, goodness me, it's 25-30 years at least probably. Anyway, hope that was informative and vaguely enjoyable. Not so sure about that, but once again, thanks for watching.